Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth virtual town hall meeting, take two. Today we're going to be talking about the April financial update, some hurricane preparedness. Lisa's going to give an update on the fitness center and the pool. I'm going to talk about a few different things. First of all, I want to just give a reminder to everyone that we do strongly recommend that everyone wear masks when they're outside of their apartment in the common areas of the building. This is not just for your own safety, it's for the safety of other residents. Secondly, I want to talk about our phased reopening. I sent out a general outline earlier this week that sort of shows what's going to happen within each phase. There are 3 phases. Currently, we're slowly moving into phase 1. So we have opened the fitness center and the pool with some restrictions. We have limited housekeeping. You may have noticed the housekeepers are trying to get in and out of your apartment as quickly as possible. And that is because we are trying to minimize the amount of time other people are in your space. Also, maintenance are doing essential work orders. That's all part of phase 1. And then we did get approval to open the grill on June 15th with a limited menu. It's going to be pickup only, and you will call in your order and you will be given a time to go down and pick it up. We don't want people coming early or gathering around the grill. We want you to come at your specified time. There will be markings on the floor to keep everybody 6 feet apart. And Teresa will share more information about what's going to be on that limited menu, as well as give you some ideas of what to expect as we enter into other phases and begin to open up the other dining venues. I've received some questions about testing for independent living residents. We were able to get the Department of Health and National Guard here to test all the residents of assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing, as well as all the associates. Unfortunately, we are unable to secure test kits that would test all independent living residents here. And quite honestly, the governor's sort of backing down on that mandate of the testing of all residents and associates. We are requiring new associates that will be working in those higher levels of care to show proof of a negative test before they start. But there is no way we could secure approximately 600 test kits to give everyone a test here locally. And honestly, we've had some people go to the local testing sites, and if they aren't showing symptoms or have not been exposed to somebody who has tested positive, they're being turned away. So test kits are limited, and if something you want to happen for yourself, I encourage you to call your doctor and see if you can get it done at the doctor's office. And I know some urgent care clinics are offering COVID testing and antibody testing, which would be run through your insurance. Second to last, I had some requests for some support groups to help the residents that are in assisted living, memory care, and health center who are unable to have visitors at this time, whether that's phone calls or social distancing, exterior visits. We're working on that, and part of the phased reopening is that everything we want to implement has to go through an approval process. So opening the grill had to go through an approval process. Opening the pool and fitness center had to go through an approval process. So setting up those things like exterior visits at Homewood, Freedom Plaza Assisted Living and Memory Care, and the Inn and Plaza West has to go through an approval process, and we're working on that right now. So many of you who have loved ones in those other locations will be hearing from the management teams there in the very near future about setting up exterior visits as soon as we get that approved by Mary Mackey and Jill Sorensen. Lastly, I want to talk about window washing. So we're wrapping up the power washing of the Plaza building tomorrow. And then we're in the process of scheduling the window washing of the Plaza building. I spoke with Martha this morning, and that we're using a new company this year. They have the ability to wash the exterior windows up to the 5th floor. They have some sort of apparatus that enables them to do that. What we're going to do is work with them. We're going to secure a lift that will allow them to wash the exterior of the 6th and 7th floors. Before that happens, housekeeping and maintenance are going to go around and remove the screens that will help them wash the exterior of the building. Now, Martha has told me that there are certain screens that can't be removed. So we will remove all screens that are able to be removed prior to washing the exterior windows. And that's all I have. And we're going to go to Teresa, Sibby, Lisa, and Joey for other updates.
Good morning, guys. This week's segment of Town Hall regarding maintenance, just want to touch on a few topics. We know hurricane season is fast approaching us. So what we're going to do on campus, number one, is trim all trees that are close to the building and also on the main drive. As you can see in the front entrance, we've already begun that. We're going to continue on next week over at GVT buildings, and then eventually come down to the Plaza building and then also Plaza West. Also talking about hurricane season, we know we have our generators on campus. We have multiple generators that are either powered by natural gas, LP tanks, or diesel. The LP tanks and diesel will be topped off within the next week so that we are insured enough fuel should we lose any power. If you have any questions regarding generators, what they power, please give me a call, 813-731-0929, or send me an email as well, period. Another topic is our refrigerators and freezers. We've had a number of calls that they're not cooling properly, and as I understand, during COVID, we've really stocked our fridges to get us through these next few weeks and even months. But as a reminder, please leave enough room in your fridge or your freezer for enough airflow so that it can properly cool and freeze as it needs to. Otherwise, the compressor will overheat and shut down. There's an attached picture that you can see how airflow typically works in these fridges and freezers. Any questions, again, please give us a call in our maintenance department. Thank you, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next installment.
Hi everyone, just want to talk a little bit about the fitness center and the swimming pool. They are open with limited hours continued and sign up only. There are sign up sheets at the front desk for the Freedom Plaza pool and at GVT for the GVT pool and fitness center. There are 5 people allowed in the fitness center at Freedom Plaza and 3 per session at GVT. A husband and wife needs to make sure they sign up separately. The max for both pools is 8 and the hot tub remains closed at this time. To continue to keep our residents safe, we will maintain certain restrictions. Please maintain social distancing while in the common areas. There are machines that are not available to help with this in the fitness centers. Please wipe down your machine after every use. The fitness center and pools are closed on the weekends for now. The pool at Freedom Plaza will be having classes in the morning for aerobics, so if there are sign-up sheets for those as well. Still with maximum of 8. Thank you for doing your part to keep our residents safe, and continue to social distance and wear your mask when you're outside of your apartment. Thank you.
Good afternoon from dining today at Freedom Plaza. I hope you all are well today. I have a lot of news to discuss with you, a lot of projects and items that we've been working on. One of the first things prior to this town hall, we've talked about securing 2 additional vendors, Cheney Brothers and Halperin out of Orlando, to help us to bring in the amount of foods that we need to serve y'all on a daily basis. Both of those vendors are up and running. Chef Chris is super pleased with that. He can get an order in now pretty much 6 days a week, which is great, from all of our various vendors, including Cisco, who is still our main broadline distributor. Even with having these additional vendors, there has been some breaks still in the food chain. The big item that we are tracking right now is ground beef. When we first started, our normal prices on ground beef, it went from anywhere from $2.25 a pound to $2.40. Ground beef has now spiked to $7.60 a pound, which is a huge increase. Items that is going to affect on our menus, chili, for example, on Memorial Day, we were concerned that we weren't gonna be able to secure enough ground beef for the chili. So Chris was, of course, out at the last minute trying to secure everything he can to make sure that we could make our award-winning chili recipe for Memorial Day, which we were successful in. Sloppy Joes are on the menu as well this week as a resident request. And we've had another resident request for spaghetti and meat sauce, but we're gonna hold on that until the market comes back and we can get those prices down, and we can actually make sure we secure the product. Everything else seems to be pretty plentiful from our vendors. We're able to get in items on a daily basis. We're starting to see a lot more ease in the market. We're not there yet, but it is not as troublesome as it was in the weeks past. We are working on a multitude of things in the dining department while we are gearing up to hopefully phase out of the COVID operations, and based on the CDC guidelines and LCS and the direction that Angie has for the community. So some items that we're working on right now, which are going to affect all of us, is go from COVID to hurricane preparedness. On Friday of last week, I had put out an order form for bottled waters. It is recommended that each resident has 2 cases of bottled water in their apartment. So if there's 2 in your apartment, you would want to have 4 cases of bottled water. And we do have the order forms to include these smart bottles, which are the same thing that we had last year. This is a 5-gallon smart bottle. This is reusable, and the top of it just twists right off. You put it in your sink and you fill it, and it expands. And what this is, you can use this for potable water for your apartment. You can use it for cooking, for cleaning, along with the bottled water. And these, the price this year did go up from the supplier, so we did have to increase our price. And the bottled water as well, we are still getting from Nestle, but Zephyr Hills is the brand that we will be using for our bottled water. A lot of you have turned in your bottled water order forms. We do ask that if you plan on getting the bottled water, have all of your forms turned in. Just put them in your mailbox outside of your apartment, and dining will come through and pick them up. And based on how many residents partake, we will let you know when the delivery date will be. We anticipate the delivery date on your bottled waters will be probably the 2nd week of June. Speaking of bottled water for the campus, in addition, we are ordering 6.5 pallets, that's 500 cases of 24-ounce bottled waters for the campus. That is not going to be for individual consumption. That is going to be for other levels of care, including independent living, but to make sure that we do have water on hand in case of an emergency. We are also going to get in 64 cases of 12-count collapsible bladders, very similar to this, for our kitchens and all of our levels of care, so that we will be able to fill those in anticipation of a hurricane coming. So again, while we do prepare on campus and while we do secure enough water, it's that just in case water, in independent living, we need our residents to have what the recommended quantity is 2 cases of bottled water per individual in the apartment in the case of a hurricane coming. And then we will have additional bottled waters if we need to, if we're in a position where, we've used everything within your apartment, or you have used everything in your apartment. We do have a lot of orders this year, a lot more than in years prior. So I do appreciate that everybody is participating in this. And again, more information will come out in the weekly next week once we get our numbers to figure out when we will be delivering. All bottled waters and smart bottles will be charged to your ancillary account. Some other items that I wanted to discuss today are our menu selections. We've had a lot of really positive feedback from a lot of different residents on the menu selections. We have taken into consideration all of the requests that have been made. When we started this menu, this emergency menu, which is what we're using right now, 12 weeks ago. Can you believe that? 12 weeks ago, Chris, Jen, and I just completed our 12th menu. And that is the menu for next week that you've already filled out. That's for week 12. We started with a basic plan. We've had a lot of positive feedback on our menus from all of you. And we've had a lot of suggestions as well. When we started this 12 weeks ago, we started with one game plan on the menus and how we were going to proceed. And based on all of the suggestions, we've altered and we shifted and we've changed to add healthier items such as the weekly salad, which we do twice a week, a nice entree salad. We've also had requests for hamburgers and hot dogs, Salisbury steak, home-style items, which we've also incorporated in. Sloppy Joe's is a request from last week as well. We've also had residents who said, hey, I'd like to see lamb again. Can we get lamb on the menu? Well, this Friday we have lamb chops on the menu. We're really, also sandwiches. Because of the grill being closed, there are sandwiches that, we're all missing the Reuben and we're missing a club sandwich. And so now chef is incorporating that on the menu as well. It may not be your cup of tea to get a sandwich for your main meal of the day, but there are a good amount of residents that do enjoy that. So we're trying to accommodate everyone. We appreciate your feedback, and when we do the menus and we sit and we talk, most of the time when we're coming up with a menu or looking at how we're going to structure that weekly's menu, a lot of the suggestions that you have, we talk more about a resident suggestion based on more of what we want to serve. So we do thank you for that. Our community is heavily involved in our menus, and I'm proud that we get so many requests on a weekly basis. It makes it really really easy for Chris to be able to accommodate because you all are being very vocal about what you like to see on the menu. So thank you for that. Some other items that we're working on right now. Last week, Chris and the catering team and myself went down to the Plaza Club and we did a deep cleaning of the Plaza Club. Though we are not open yet for outside or internal events, we are getting ready and anticipating the day that we can. We're going to schedule a deep cleaning of the Plaza Club and the Pro Shop. We have a walk through the end of this week and hopefully to get that scheduled in the next week or so. Once we do start relaunching catering again, we will let you all know, but I do not foresee that happening until we get back into our dining rooms, and that's going to be more of a phase 3 process. Some other things that we are working on as well are the menu boards in the grill and the actual menus. We've partnered with Rock, which we're very, very happy and very thankful for Karina to help us work on the grill menus. We're hoping to have a new menu for you once we reopen the grill, and we're working on that right now. So I want to give a big thank you to Rock for helping us with that. And the grill. So I want to talk about the grill a little bit because I know that we've had a lot of resident feedback on the grill. I know that you would like to see the grill open. Right now, our team is working on the logistics of working on the logistics of opening the grill. When we say opening the grill, remember we have to phase into everything very, very slowly. So while the grill has a very extensive menu, we also are doing things during COVID to try to alleviate things like residents going shopping, or you all leaving and going shopping. We're also doing our daily specials. We're taking care of the team as well who are unable to leave campus because we want to keep them out of the stores and out of restaurants and whatnot. So we need to incorporate how we can continue doing what we're doing and add additional items in for pickup in the grill. We are going to be working on that in the next week or so and have more information to you. It may only be 1 or 2 items that are available for pickup every day with a limited time. So it may look like 11 to 1 o'clock and you need to call in your grill order to the grill. We're trying to figure out the best way logistically to do this so we can accommodate everyone, and we will get more information out to you as it unfolds. Through the daily memos from Angie and in our next town hall as well. So be sure to look out for your daily memo from Angie for more communications from dining. Please keep your emails up to Chris, myself, Jen. We appreciate hearing from you. We want to hear the positive feedback. We want to hear the things that we can do better, and we want to hear your ideas. Your ideas are truly helping us to mold menus and to help us re-enter back into the dining room as well. So we look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.
Brief update on the financial performance of the community this month. Just to go over some highlights. Community occupancy overall was 574.6 on a budget of 589.5, which is 91% occupied. Just to break that down by by level of care. Our independent living occupancy was 389.2 average on a budget of 388.6. Assisted living, which includes the Inn and formerly known as Homewood, Freedom Plaza Assisted Living, was 73 on a budget of 73.5. And memory care occupancy, which is formerly Clarebridge, 27.9 average occupancy on a budget of 26.3. And our skilled nursing occupancy was 84.5 on a budget of 101.1. So a little off there in skilled nursing, doing well in the other care levels. We missed census in skilled nursing by about 26 patients. Part of that's due to what's going on with COVID-19 and us being very, very careful on admissions there. There were no entrance fee sales during April. We had one entrance fee refund and we had 3 apartments vacated. The good news is we had 2 sales in May. So great job to our marketing team and looking forward to a good June as well. So total revenues were at $3.43 million on a budget of $3.098 million, with the community actually receiving $677,000 in funds from the government. The Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services provided funds to communities across the country to help with COVID-19. So we did get those funds during the month, assist with things like masks and all the disposable things we use for dining. And other things as well to help offset labor. We had $423,000 in life care and other discounts during the month. Our operating expenses for the month were actually $166,000 less than budget. We did a great job with wages and benefits, $147,000 well there, and our controllable expenses such as dining, maintenance, marketing, administration, all those things were actually under budget by $142,000. Non-controllable expenses such as utilities, insurance, and taxes, those were actually over budget, with a lot of that related to COVID-19 expenses that we incurred during the month. So overall, we actually did fine during the month of April. For the month, we had net operating income of $956,000 on a budget of $457,000. If you do adjust off those COVID monies, however, we're at around between $250,000 and $300,000 to the good, but still doing well and looking forward to another good month and looking forward to giving you another update next month. So thank you.
Hello, fellow residents. I'm not as dynamic as Chef Chris, and I'm not talking about food like Teresa does, but I'm going to try to hold your attention anyway. RAC President Ron Sweet has asked me to speak to you about our 12 RAC committees and tell you how you can become part of 1 or 2 of these and why you would want to join a RAC committee anyway. In other words, he wants me to sell you on joining a RAC committee. Well, back in the day, I was in the sales business, and so I am a professional salesperson. Let's see if I've lost my touch. Let me share with you what they taught me in salesperson training. They said the first thing to do is explain to the customer that this opportunity is for a limited time only. Well, that's true. The RAC committee selection process will be completed by the end of June. That information is supposed to create a sense of urgency in you. Then they taught me, tell the customer that that opportunity is available to only a limited number of people. Well, that's true. Most RAC committees are limited to only 9 members. Members, once selected, serve 2-year terms. So many of last year's members will still remain in place. There are only 12 RAC committees, so I can truthfully say there are a limited number of openings available. Then a good salesperson should explain to the customer why the opportunity is desirable. Well, that's easy. We all like to have a say in how things are done. RAC committees work closely with our life care services directors, and our RAC committees are the residents' official messengers to management. If you want to have your say and get it into the official channels, being a RAC committee member is a good way to do it. Well, now that you know this is a desirable opportunity in short supply for a limited time only, let me describe the product that we're selling. There are 12 RAC committees. 3 of our RAC committees support the residents in unique ways. 9 of them support, track, and monitor management departments. Let me explain what they do. Our Administrative Services Committee monitors and supports the department of the same name, which reports to Gary Bembry and covers the operations of transportation, front desk, and security. The Community Activities Committee helps Susie Burt plan and schedule all the wonderful activities we had, BC, that stands for before COVID, and plan the ones we will have again. Dining Services Committee works with Teresa, Chef, and Jen, and the rest of the Dining Services Department, and keeps their finger on the pulse of resident preferences. Finance Committee partners with Joey and the Financial Services Department to monitor the fiscal health of Freedom Plaza. Now, how important is that? The Golf Committee meets frequently with Frank Henson, our Director of Tennis and Golf, to ensure we make the most of our annual investment in our golf course, Freedom Fairways, an asset that makes us unique. The RAC Healthcare Committee is a major supporter of Lisa Frank, our nurse and Director of Resident Services Department. During this unusual period, we are proud to say members of the RAC Healthcare Committee call to check in on every one of our residents every single week. The Housekeeping Committee does not dust or do windows. Instead, they inspect our common spaces to make sure Martha Alanis and her housekeepers are keeping things spick and span. The Maintenance Committee does for Sibby and our Plant Services Department what Housekeeping Committee does for Martha. They inspect our common spaces for problems and maintenance issues and make input to Sibby and Lavinia, and then they track those issues to make sure they are addressed. When I say Racket Sports Committee, you have to realize I didn't stammer. Racket Sports is what began as the RAC Tennis Committee and now has expanded to include pickleball. This committee works with Frank Henson just like the Golf Committee does. In addition to those 9 committees that work closely with management, we have 3 committees that act independent of management. The first is our vital VIP committee. Most of you know that at Freedom Plaza, the term VIP stands for visually impaired persons. And that committee is the source of the orange buttons you see on certain resident badges. Both fully sighted and vision impaired residents are members of this committee, and they work to improve the lives of those of us who need vision support. Now soon you will start to hear a lot about our second committee not linked to a Life Care Services Directorate, and that is the Associate Appreciation Committee. This committee exists to remind residents to contribute to a fund which is divided among our hourly associates at the end of the year. In a community with a no tipping policy, such a committee is an absolute necessity. Members of this committee are proud of the work they do here. And the last of these 3 special committees is a new RAC committee that the council is in process of standing up. Mike Anderson, one of our most technically knowledgeable residents, has agreed to head a brand new RAC Technology Committee to educate and assist residents with their electronics, cell phones, tablets, and computers. Shortly, you will have a form in your mailbox. Fill it out and return to me to volunteer for as many of our 12 committees as you like. Although you can only belong to 2 committees, you may apply for all of them if you want to. And if you're not selected, your name goes into the committee bank until next year's election. So remember, residents, this is a limited time offer. Act soon while openings are still available. And if you are among the first 500 volunteers, you can choose 2 committees for the price of 1. Extra shipping and handling may apply. Thank you.